I'm gonna bring up my friend, you guys, my brother from another mother. I absolutely cherish our relationship because the most valuable people you can have in your life is the ones that challenge you to do things that make you uncomfortable. A lot of us avoid people like that, right? We don't want to go to that person that's going to hold us accountable or challenge us to do something that's outside of our comfort zone. And Chris absolutely will. Very few people take him up on his challenges. The boys did, right? You can see where they're at, but he moved his whole life over here to Hawaii, has been just totally invested in our growth individually as agents and our growth as a company here. And you know, he never really shared his story. Like, I don't know how many of you guys actually know him well. So it was actually my amazing wife's idea. Actually, let's give a round of applause for Monica, you guys. All of these slides, like the food, like, I mean, I can't even tell you how much stuff she does behind the scenes. And this would not happen without her. So super, super grateful. I definitely couldn't be up here doing what I do without her. But she was like, you know what? Chris needs to share his story because he has an amazing story of just where he came from, all the things that he's overcome, and why he does what he does today. And so without further ado, you guys, let's bring up Chris Okamura and close out the day. Let's go, brother.
In the making during our generation.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Ho, H to the OV. I used to move snowflakes by the OZ. I guess even back then you can call me CEO of the ROC. Ho,
I love it. My alter ego. Yes, all right, first off, I want to say thank you. I want to reiterate again, too, because this event was amazing. Was it a good event today? I keep going back to the food. Food was great, because I love food. I'm a foodie. But amazing event. Again, I want to say thank you to Monica, because yes, all this stuff that's amazing that happens here, it really is behind the curtains things. I'm not that guy, by the way. I have like massive squirrels and OCD and ADHD and every other alphabet in the book. Monica's the one that says, Chris, woof, voice of reason, bring it back down. And she gets all the stuff there I cannot do. So Monica, I love you, thank you so much. Without you, I could not do it. And Dylan again too, both you guys are an amazing team. I also want to say without this event, we have sponsors here. I'm going to talk about these sponsors. Without the sponsors, we wouldn't have had this event as well. Duncan Sia from Infinite Financial. Thank you, Duncan. Give it up for Duncan. Let's see here. Lotus Home Staging, Denise, Tori, and Dylan Knox. Amazing opportunity there. Thank you, guys. 535 Plumbing. I should have brought my glasses, darn it. Charles from Coastal Home Solutions. Yes. Yeah, Charles. Julie Bratton from Old Republic Exchange. Evan Morris from Waterfront Flooring. Julie Rego from America's Preferred Home Warranty. Turning Point Chiropractic. Hope you guys get your back cracked out there. And Go Local Power, Rhino from the Solar Company. And Egan Moe from Hale Escrow. Hale Escrow, sorry. See, look at that. Hale Escrow. Awesome. Anyways, without those guys, I want to say thank you because without them, it wouldn't be either. All right, yes, indeed. I don't actually like to speak at my events because I want to raise everybody else. That's why we have amazing speakers that we fly in from all over the place and our amazing talented people that we have here locally. Those are the people that you really want to hear and talk about. But I decided, yeah, it's about time maybe you guys do know who I am because I'm this guy who comes here and honestly, I'm fourth generation Hawaii here, by the way. My parents, my mom, my family, my great-grandparents have been here since the 1800s. Everybody says, Chris, you look Hawaiian until you open your mouth. And then what's that terminology you always call me, Dylan? Takong? Katong. There we go. Yeah, that guy. Yes, I was born and raised in California. But the truth is, with all these amazing speakers and talent and stuff you have here today, I mean, it was an amazing, amazing group. Yes, you guys agree? Like lots of content, everything. But the reality is, I realized, I asked myself, how many of you guys actually feel like, though, you know you're capable of more, but you're not really living it yet? Like when you sit and hear all those speakers that come up on stage, one after the other, after the other, after the other, and amazing things they're accomplishing and doing, and all of them had bare roots, grassroots beginnings, right? All of them did. Hearing those stories, do you sit there and think a little bit like, man, I know I'm capable of more, but I'm just not living it right now? How many of you are sitting in the room trying to like hunker down in the chair and hope nobody's looking at you? You're looking and canvassing the room like, hey, who's shaking their head? Knowing internally it's probably you. We just don't want to admit it publicly. Embarrassed. I know the feeling because actually it was me. That used to be me. Actually, that still is me to some levels every day. The truth is I have to wake up every morning and convince myself that I'm amazing. Anybody else got to do that? Every day? It's a full-time job. I have a regimen of consistent things I do every day. And if I don't do it, I fall off the track. And I have this spiral I go down. And everybody says, Chris, you're so freaking full of energy. You're so positive all the time. Yeah, you know what? That shit takes work. Every day, pouring into my brain, pouring into my mind, making sure that I'm filling it with something better than what's going on in the back of that vault. Because, man, if I put you in the back of my vault right now, it's crazy. It's like R-rated, X-rated, NC-17. It's so bad in there. It's bad. The truth is, it was all because of my childhood. We're all products of our environment, yeah? Every one of us. My dad was a Japanese American during the Roosevelt, meaning that he was in the camps, in internment camps. You guys know that? My mom, she was born and raised here, raised 5 of her brothers at 15. Not an easy life. The 2 of them combined had the emotional bandwidth of a 2x4. I had a better chance of getting a splinter than getting love and affection from them, truthfully. So the reality is I did everything on my own. Figured everything out on my own. I had no direction, no support, no role play, no playbook, nothing. In fact, I figured out most of it all on my own. And I pretended the whole time like I knew what I was doing, but internally, I knew I was kind of a fake. Anybody feel that way sometimes? Like we're living this fake life. On the surface, it looks good. Internally, we're just dying. Yeah, that was me. My mom died when I was 15 of cancer. So you know what happens after that. My dad, with an amazing opportunity, his personality so sparkling, he was already in a bad place at that point. I pretty much just moved out. Because we were fighting so much physically, I knew I had to get out of that house. Like, one of us was going to kill each other. So I did. 15, 16 years old, I moved out. How many got kids here in this that are 15 and 16? Can you imagine kicking your kids out? Yeah, I did. I was kind of cool, right? Sometimes you think it's cool. But no, imagine kicking your kids out at 15 and 16 and saying, hey, go figure out life. Good luck. Here's $20. Hope it lasts. Because that's pretty much what happens, right? When you're on your own, you're trying to figure this out. But at the end of the day, I realized out of all that stuff I was having, these issues like going on, I knew deep down I was capable of more. I knew I had more potential. I just didn't know how to access it yet. 15 or 16, you don't know how to access that stuff. You're just trying to figure out how to survive. So I had to figure out where to plug in and where to go. I don't tell you this story, by the way, to gain any sympathy. Trust me. I don't even want your pity. In fact, I don't take back anything in my life. I love every bit of it. It's made me who I am today. Because if I didn't go through it, I wouldn't be who I am today, and I wouldn't be on the stage right now trying to pour into you guys. And I pour into you guys because I've been through a lot of shit. And I want to be this person that's this beam of light to help you guys see that there's options. There's always choices in life. Always a choice in life. You just have to figure out what it is. But I know everybody in this seat, too, in this room, in this auditorium right now, has a story. And probably some of them worse than mine. Probably more dramatic, more dangerous, more scary than mine. The difference is it's just your story. It's your story, and it's relative to you in your life. Mine was my story, mine was personal to me, mine relative to me. You figure out this. The difference is, are you letting that story define who you are today? Or helping you define your limiting beliefs that you're having in your mind? Is it holding you back? That's the thing. Your story is our story. But you can't let it hold you back. Let it define your future. And as I look into this crowd, I see a lot of amazing people that look so beautiful today. By the way, you guys are very, very, give you all that hand. Very, very, very nice dressed people. Very, very nice. You're dressed, you're happy, you're excited, you're walking around, you're networking, you're mixing. But internally, you're also feeling the same thing. That little gut itch inside of you, right? You're stuck between who you are currently and who you're supposed to become. It nags at you sometimes, but you just keep trying to ignore it, right? The truth is, after all this stuff I was going through, I realized one important rule there. Nobody was going to come save me. Nobody. 100% on my own. The weight in the world is on my shoulders, so I really physically didn't have anybody, by the way. I couldn't call somebody, couldn't call a parent, couldn't call a sibling, and I was the youngest of 4, by the way. Typically, the youngest of 4, the baby, is the spoiled one, they say. No. By the time my parents got to me, they were exhausted and they checked out. They were done. So yeah, I was go figure it out. So yeah, it wasn't that person that had all that. So I really physically had nobody to pour into. And again, I'm telling you this because the reality is everybody has choices. Fast forward, I'm 19 now. And I love Kim by way of your story. Kim, she's like, got married. I did what every 19-year-old does, right? What does every 19-year-old do? Yeah, I got married. Fucking crazy. And before you say it, no, she wasn't pregnant. I know you're all thinking it. No, you know what? I was actually missing the 4 major elements that every human being on this planet needs. Seen, loved, heard, and accepted. Yeah? Doesn't everybody want to be accepted? Seen, loved, heard. In your relationships and whatever you're doing, is you want to be seen, loved. And you know what the truth is? Seen, loved, and heard and accepted is something you get typically from your parents. When you're a kid at home, you get all of that. It should be like unconditional. But when it's not, what do? You go get married. Yeah. I was a dying plant. Literally, like, picture a plant that's like so dry and needed sun and water. And the first person to even pour a little bit of water on me and see, love, hear, and accept me, I didn't like walk over to it. I jumped into her lap. At 19, do you think we make good decisions at 19? I don't even know what pair of shoes to put on at 19, let alone pick out an amazing partner. So yes, as you can imagine, it didn't last long, right? No surprise here. But there's a lot of factors to that. And this is cliche, I'll say it. It wasn't me, it was her. I'm gonna tell you the truth. And actually, if you asked her now, 30-something years later, she wouldn't lie. It was her, and it's being recorded too now. It was her, it wasn't me. It took me into a real dark place, though. Imagine all the elements that I've been missing up to this point, and then you entrust yourself to someone who starts to water you and plant you and nurture you and tell you she loves you and, right, all the things you need, seen, loved, heard, and accepted. And you start to grow. You remember E.T.? Remember that flower that started to die? And E.T. puts his finger out, brings it right back, yeah. Well, imagine that plant starting to see some resemblance of life. I'm like, oh my God. And then somebody grabs it by the roots and rips it out of the freaking dirt. That's what it felt like. Literally. The carpet running with my feet. So, yeah, imagine it was a dark spiral of just death at this point, mentally, emotionally, physically, spiritually. I didn't value anything at all. Actually, I didn't value life. I didn't value nothing. Nothing. I was daily on drugs and alcohol because it made me numb. And it even took my life. That's the first time I've ever said that in 54 years. But you know what? I'm going to tell you this is real. Depression is real. If you don't think it is, it's real. And if you ever think that you're at a point of life that is like end of the barrel, no light, no help, no support, and like there's nowhere to go, do not think there's no one there. There's a room full of people here that love and care about you. I know it would be there for you in a second. Because at the end of the day, that was one of my worst decisions ever made, but thank God I'm still alive. Because you know why? It wasn't my time. I should just get box clinics up here and shit. It wasn't my time. Why? Because again, I knew I was capable of more, and I had potential to be reached. So I wasn't done, and God knew that. So by the grace of God, I'm still alive here on this stage talking about that, right? But through all of that, I realized one thing. Again, no one's coming to help me. 100% of it's on my own. This is me. No one's going to come help me. So I had to figure this out. They say, don't pray for an easier life. Pray for you to become a stronger person. Right? Don't sit there and ask for easier shit in life, an easier path right now. Whatever you're going through right now, trials, tribulations, stress, overwhelm, anxiety, financial, spiritual, mental, emotional, don't ask for an easier life in God for Him. Ask to be a stronger person. asked to rise to the occasion because that's what is required to grow. To figure out what you're capable of is to grow. So I managed to figure out a way to climb out of this hole, thank God. And every day was a process. Every day. This doesn't happen, by the way, to rebuild your life. For those who sit there thinking, what's the key to fixing your life? There is no key. It's called progress over perfection. Every day you do something. Every day you do something to be better. It doesn't happen overnight. This is a marathon, not a sprint, people. Rebuild your life back. I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. Who's there? What you think about comes about. What you focus on expands. I'm going to tell you right now, if you don't believe in it, I promise you, whatever's happened in your life, any experience you've gone through, good, bad, ugly, bad relationships, you brought some of that into your life. I promise you, whether you want to admit it or not. There's some shit that you did. You had a play in it. Accept that shit. Own it. So I managed to find my way into real estate, law of attraction, because I started to think about things and pull myself out, rebuild and rebuild and rebuild. Yeah, so I thought I jumped from the stove into the oven, right? As a realtor, I was excited. In real estate now. I started at the bottom though. Actually, I started in mortgage. That's where I started my career. I started as a loan officer. For those who know what mortgage loan officer, yeah. Bought the guy on a headset, talking every day, making calls. I had no idea what I was doing, by the way. I had zero clue. I come from construction. Since I was 15, I built stuff with my hands, but I realized that I needed to figure out something that was easier, smarter, not harder, and that was it. I figured out I could actually talk. I was good at talking. I should have got awarded at school the best talker, because I did. But as I started to rebuild this, I thought I made it, right? Like, oh, good. I started from the bottom of being a loan officer to within about 4 years, I owned my own mortgage company. Long story in between that, but I ended up owning my mortgage company with a buddy of mine who actually used to be a RE/MAX agent for a real estate company, and we partnered up. We did mortgage and real estate. And I thought, here it is. I've reached the pinnacle. I'm on top of my world. I finally become accepted by peers around me. People are seeing, loving, and hearing me. I'm making a ton of money. I made it. But let's be honest. Most of us in this industry, we're stuck in a model that looks like success, but it feels like a trap. It's real estate. We're always trading time for money. We're chasing the next deal, always. Next commission, next closing. And if we stop, what happens? Take your foot off the gas pedal for 2 seconds, you're done. It comes to a screeching halt. Then you rebuild again. You keep working harder and harder and harder and harder, but you never get free. You realize that? Here's a PSA announcement. You're never going to outrun linear business. Every speaker we had on stage here, Tom Trom, all these guys there, we're doing things and leveraging ourselves and finding systems again to integrate, to work for us, to build us and thankful on a platform. Like it changed to a platform now that actually allows us to help people change lives, but also help us too. All of this constant working and not being free, that's not leverage. That's survival dressed up as success. Believe that. That's exactly what it is. And I live that pressure, the constant chase, the pressure, the tightening. I keep making money, keep doing this stuff. It couldn't work, but you know what? Through this, I was never gonna have the life that I really wanted, which, as Tom talked about, was actually helping people. I wanted to help people. So I'll fast forward a little more. We started doing really well. I was stoked. Me and my business partner were high-fiving in the hallways because we were literally making loads of money. Anybody who's in the business before 2007? Yeah, the craziest market ever. If you guys think the last 3 years was challenging, that was a cakewalk. 2007 cut you at your knees and asked you how far you can walk. Because it was like this one day, I was like, that next. So just where I thought I was doing well, guess who come knocking? God. You're not done growing yet, Chris. We need to teach you another lesson. Never go back to, I want to know who I want to become. I knew I was more capable of more. Okay, so 2007 hit. Lost everything. Here I go again. Round 2, by the way. Ding, ding. Round 2. For those who think that success is a straight line, man, you got another thing coming. It's beating after beating after beating after beating after beating. You get back up, beating again. It's not how many times you get knocked down, right? It's how many times you get back up. Okay. So I'm going through this process, lose everything, go bankrupt, lose cars, houses, friends. People who you thought were your friends, yeah, they were in it for the money, the trips, all the good shit. Yeah, they were hanging out. It was your little entourage. And we were going everywhere. Quickly, when you're broke, you see who your friends are. When you need to move your shit really quick, who's there? Nobody. Nobody. So I hit it again, one more time. This dark spiral, one more time, of everything being depleted and taken away from me. Although this one wasn't that bad, because I already done it once. So I did it again. And I said, man, enough of this real estate crap. I can't do it anymore. So I went and got a job. I went to Home Depot. Yeah. I went and got a job. I thought, you know what, maybe I'll go with something that's a little bit more consistent, and I can actually show up, clock in, and get a paycheck it's kind of good, right? I think I wanted to hang myself. That's bad timing, huh? All right, I wanted to really not be there. I realized, again, I was capable of a whole lot more than sitting at Home Depot in an aisle because I had construction background and tell somebody how to tile their floor on a Saturday because it was a DIY. Oh my God, I wanted to choke myself. Yes, Chris, is this trowel for this again? And I seem to have a problem putting no, man, enough. So again, I leaped out of that, picked up my britches, got to work. 2013, Keller Williams came and recruited me directly in California to run their office for them. It was a good experience. I mean, Keller Williams, hands down, I'm telling you right now, it's a great company. I will not say that one. They're a great company. We wouldn't be here today, by the way, if it wasn't for KW. It's the truth. But I realized one thing. I was just another spoke in the rim. I was building someone else's dream. I was not building mine. I looked in the mirror again and said, Chris, I know I'm capable of more. This is not my full potential. Not building someone else's dream and legacy. Come on. So in 2016, I decided to go jump off a venture again and open up my own company. I had a buddy of mine in Sacramento who was a commercial broker, and we decided to go on our own. And we were going to do both commercial and residential. Although one thing I failed to realize, almost a decade later, it was way more expensive to start my company. And I realized, man, I got to start over from scratch, from ground zero again, and build this all over brick by brick by brick by brick by brick, down to the sweeteners and sweet and low in the break room. It's really crazy. But in 2016, before I did that leap, I said, I got to really think about this for a little bit. I got to think about whether I want to do this again. And so in the process, I was introduced to a very good friend of mine, and everybody in this room knows him, Brent Gove. I've known that guy for decades. He literally calls me up, and he says, I got something new I want to share with you. I'm like, cool. What do you got? And I never say no, by the way. A lesson for everybody in this room. If you want to go somewhere, stop saying no. The moment you say no is the moment you turn away an opportunity that you had no idea was there. You guys know that? Stop saying no. I said yes to everything. Why? Because I had nothing to lose. When you got nothing to lose, you do everything and anything. Do you realize that? When you got nothing to lose, you do anything and everything, and I did. And I put myself in rooms, and I put myself in the right people, and I put myself in the right podcasts and write books. That's why I'm where I am today. So I wanted to build something that was bigger than me, right? Something that I could do that was way beyond all of my imagination. I wanted to create massive leverage. I wanted to stop thinking linear, by the way. I wanted to stop thinking linear. I wanted to start bigger and scaling larger. And once I understood that, things changed. I stopped chasing transactions, and guess what I started doing? I started building people. That's the real flex, by the way. I mentioned it in the very beginning of this whole session. The real flex is not how many deals you can do. And I'm not taking away, again, anybody that came on this stage that did their business at a high level and is doing hundreds, I'm not taking that away. But to me, the real flex is actually making an impact and changing somebody's life. Jim Rohn says that if you help enough people get what you want and get what they want, you get what you want, right? Is that the key? Come from contribution, servitude, be of service, help others selflessly. That's the key. So I started to build something that was bigger than me, something that I could outgrow without me being there. That's the key, by the way. The key to serious leverage is finding a model that you can take yourself out of it. Is that right? Take yourself out of it. Because again, that's just success. I'm grateful and blessed to say that today, yes, I've built an organization. Somebody asked me earlier, 600 agents all over the country, brokers and agents, okay? But again, I'm going to say this though. I'll be clear. It wasn't because I worked harder and because I suffered and did more work. No, it was because I stopped thinking small. Everybody in this room is thinking small. Why? It's not making an impact. Everybody on stage talked about it. Impact, 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 impact. What impact are you people in those times? And I realized that's my calling. When I was looking at all the other things in my life that I've been through, I realized that my full ability to be capable of what I am is to make an impact on people's lives. And there's a whole other part of my story I didn't even tell you about. I come from the craziest cult. I was emotionally screwed. Seriously, to the point that this is why I know though, when I look back at that, it was a blessing in disguise, because now I'm where I'm at because of those things. I resented it for such a long time, but in reality, it was a blessing. I just had to see it that way. Because it was not about, okay, God, why is this always happening to me, right? Why? Everything was God, why is it happening to me? When is it gonna be my turn? When is it gonna be my time? When am I gonna break? And I stopped asking that question and started asking, who do I need to become? I want you guys to write that on a piece of paper right now in front of you. Who do I need to become? Who do you need to become? Circle that. And you look at that every day, every morning, and use that as a staple to move forward every day. Who do you need to become? So you move from how many deals can I close? Because I did that every year. Every year in the year, I restructured, figure out how many deals I'm gonna close next year. With the team was how many deals we're gonna close next year. I went from doing that to how many people can I help? How many people can I impact? How many people can I create freedom? How many people can we change lives? And everybody in this room, by the way, the opportunity exists for everybody here. Everybody in this room has the same opportunity to do whatever I'm doing, whatever Tom's doing, whatever everybody you saw on stage up here earlier doing. Everybody in this room right now has that opportunity. I want you to look to the person to the right of you, look at them, and you tell them, you have the opportunity to exist. The same thing up for you. You tell them that, because it does. I want you to write this down. Playing small doesn't serve you. Right underneath, who do I need to become? Playing small doesn't serve you. It does not serve you. It doesn't serve the world either, by the way. There's a famous quote that I was reading at one point that changed my life. You guys may have heard of it. Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is that we're not inadequate, but our deepest fear is that we're more powerful than all being. It's not the dark that fear scares us, it's the light. Do you realize that? It's not the dark. It's not failure, because that's what we equate to dark. Success is light. I was more afraid, not of failing. Failing was actually in my DNA. I've been failing since I was like a kid. That's all I know. That was second language to me. Bring on something I don't know. Success. I didn't know that. And so I was more afraid of what I would do if I actually stepped into my full self. And a lot of you in this room, you're afraid too. You know why? Because you know you're going to have to stop putting off those conversations that you've been putting off. Yeah, those ones, you're going to have to make them. Those different risks that you're too scared to take, you're going to have to take them. That comfortable level of your life, that floor you keep lowering, by the way, those standards, raise them. And that is exactly what most of you in this room are afraid of. I still am. I'm not even going to lie. I still am every day, which is why I got to do what I got to do. And I'm thankful that everybody in this room showed up today because now you're not afraid. You're here. You're trying to figure out how to access it. I didn't know how to access it when I was a child, but I knew I was capable of more. And that's what Build's for, by the way. I said it earlier. Build is not just an event. Build is a mirror for you to look into your soul of what you could be, how your business could look, how your life could look. That's what Build is for. We bring in top-ranked realtors from all over the country to showcase to you what they're doing at a high level so you can internally see it as a mirror of what you could be as well. Stop thinking small. You're destroying yourself. I could no longer hide. When I stepped into my light, I could no longer hide. And it was so easy for me to hide. Oh my God, was it easy to hide. Pretend like things didn't happen, like closing curtains down, closing doors behind me. Pretend I didn't see that person say something to me. Or I didn't hear something that I knew I was supposed to do, but I didn't do it. It's so easy to hide. I'm grateful for this opportunity to bring Build to Hawaii. Because some of you are going to walk out of here super motivated, fired up, like just blazing fires. But you're going to get in your car and you're going to drive home and you're going to go right back to your old self. Comfortable, predictable self. But for some of you, there's going to be a few in here, you're going to leave. This is going to be the defining moment when you finally look in the mirror and say, this is the time. This is the time for me to make changes, to do what I know I'm capable of, and to live out what life is meant for me. This is the time. So I'm going to leave you with this. That version of you, the one that you keep thinking about, right? The confident one, the more impactful one, the more disciplined one, the one that has more freedom. Yeah, that one. The one that kind of gnaws the back of your neck every morning. That version of you is not a dream. Believe that. It's not a dream. It's just a freaking decision that you must take and take action for today to decide to make that move. As soon as you do change that, make that decision, everything in your life is going to change. Everything in your life is going to change. Your circle will change. Your sphere will change. Your emotional and intellectual will change. Everything. Your finances will change. Everything will change. You have to be willing to take that leap. Leap of faith.
I hear the song.
Who's willing to do that? Right now, you're literally standing in a line, an imaginary line in the sand. On one side of it is the life that you've been living, the safe, the predictable, the comfortable side, that side right there. The other side is that one that takes growth, pressure, expansion, scared, everything else. And oh, by the way, everything else that you say you dream and aspire to have and want, be, do, have. Here's the kicker. You can't have both. It's one or the other. Reasons or results, you can't have both. Sorry, life's not like that. So choose one. Write this down. If you argue for your limitations, you get to keep them. Stop arguing for your limitations just to justify your inability to show up for yourself. That's what it's all about. So here's the moment. It's not tomorrow. It's not next week. It's not when things get easier, by the way, because, I'll do it next week when it's easier. I'll do it next week or tomorrow when it's easier. No, it's not about when it's easier. It's right now. Right now, because if you don't, you're going to keep having the same story every day for the rest of your life. And you're going to regret it. I promise you'll regret it. You're going to regret it because you're not going to be able to have the opportunity to step into the real life, the one that God designed you for. And if you don't think that's real, it's real. God put you on this planet for a reason. Everybody has a purpose in life. You were made in his freaking image. Do you think he just made somebody like you and said, oh, you're good, just walk along the earth and pick up roses all day? No, he wanted you to do something more impactful. Go change someone's life. Go and be meaningful. Because I promise you, if you don't, you walk out of this room and do absolutely nothing, it's 1,000% on you. Ain't nobody you can blame. Can't point fingers. Can stop making excuses. Write this down. What you do not change, you choose. Everything in life that you do not change. God, I want to stop smoking. Yeah, maybe next week. God, I want to stop drinking. Yeah, maybe next month. Man, I want to start eating better. Yeah, after Christmas. The holidays are here. You know, we got to keep eating kind of bad, so holidays. But if you walk out of this room today and you decide to think bigger, think and move differently, build with leverage, stop trading time for freaking money, and step into your light. That divine light that God imposed on you, step into it and embrace it. Because in this moment, your entire life's going to change. I promise you, your entire life's going to change. It will shift dramatically. So I ask you one more time, because I really mean this. Who are you going to be when you leave this room today? Because the world, honestly, doesn't need a realtor, another one. Oh my God, we got a room full of them. And I love you guys, but we don't need another real estate agent. What the world needs is the version of you that you've been avoiding this whole time. That's what this world needs. So together, let's be courageous. Let's be uncomfortable. Let's be confident. And let's step into our light that God has given us. Let's go. Thank you. I love you all. Thanks for coming to Build.
Don't you get to yeah.
All right, guys, that's it for today. One more round of applause for Chris, guys, and all the stuff that he